Good morning, everybody. It is an overcast day here in the DC suburbs, and it's my favorite kind of day. I love overcast. It's like God dimming the lights on the world, which is less noisy, less obnoxious, and just my speed. So, today I want to talk to you about something rather controversial. This has to do with me giving up on my intentions to homeschool. Now, where do I start? I have a 5-year-old daughter, and ever since she was a baby, before I had her, I wanted to homeschool for various reasons. Like, we're a natural family, so the whole immunization thing is always a problem, or is always something that we have to contend with, and something that we are in one way or another indirectly or directly persecuted for. So that's one thing. Second thing is that we are believers in a creator, and that's becoming less and less popular. And so as it becomes less popular, the culture, the mainstream culture becomes more, it goes the opposite direction in terms of focusing on this life and the pleasures and indulgences of this life and short-term satisfaction, gratification, etc. So, being a believer in a creator and in worshiping the one true creator is quite in opposition to the modern culture. And so, sending my kid off to chill out with these teachers and students who are all, not all, but a lot of them tend to be more complacent about religion and spirituality. It's not my jam. Plus, historical documentation and textbooks and stuff, all taught from the narration of the conqueror. While it does have some merit, it's not the way that I'd like to teach my kids about things, to, gloss over certain things, or sort of sugarcoat things, or not tell different perspectives of history. That's not my style either. So the fourth reason is that I was a strong-willed, very determined, rebellious young lady in school, and I didn't do so well in school. I did fine academically when I forced myself to sit down and do the boring stuff, but socially I really struggled, and my parents and teachers struggled with me in school. And so so that being said, I had negative experiences. I had a lot of, not acceptance. I was going to say disacceptance, but I think it's like, rejection. I faced a lot of rejection just because I, wanted the freedom to not follow rules that I thought were stupid. And I'm not talking about like hitting people or whatever. I'm talking about going to the bathroom when I wanted to. I'm talking about eating when I wanted to. I'm talking about not having to talk when I didn't want to talk, or not being around certain people that I was uncomfortable around, or falling asleep at school because I was tired. And this goes into a whole nother thing about how the education system is really masculine, and doesn't really support females because of our monthly cycles and our hormone cycles. We don't function the same way that males do. So it's not very supportive of us yet. So I would get in trouble at school, or I would play too much. Like, I would take things not as serious, or I would roughhouse with more boys. But so those things I would get in trouble for. Like, what I see as being just a normal kid, I didn't get very much grace for. I got a lot of punishment and rejection, and made to feel bad for natural inclinations, or just simply disagreeing. And so for all those reasons, I did not want my child to be in the public school system. And that being said, I was going to try to homeschool her. I got curriculum. I'm part of like support groups. I got some courses, and I basically was preparing to homeschool this fall. I know that, it's not necessary to like get her into academics and stuff until she's around 7. At least that's the school of thought that I follow. But she's very sharp and she's very bored. Like she wants more. She just simply wants more, and it's quite frequent that she wants more. So I have been, thinking about that in conjunction with, or in addition to, her extroversion. She is very extroverted, and I say this as a very introverted person. I'm about, in terms of like the scale of extroversion versus introversion, I'm about 70% introvert, and I'm a highly sensitive person too. So I prefer very low stimulation levels, if that makes sense to you. Low lights, low noise, just like my environment right now. Only deep, meaningful, short connections with people, and a lot of quiet time, a lot of solitude. And so in spite of all that, I was like, but moms like me still make it work, like, and it's important enough that, like, I'm willing to sacrifice some things, right? And of course, I'm still willing to, compromise and bend towards doing what's best for my child, of course. But in this case, it is not feasible at the moment. I think that perhaps when she's a bit older, I think that it will be more harmonious. I think that she'll understand better why I can't talk all the time, or why I can't listen to questions all the time. And I think that at this time in her life, it is very beneficial for her to go be around other kids and a different authority figure, or, guide, whatever you want to call it, leader, a different adult leader. I think that, and I feel that, like, my intuition and my heart is telling me to get out of the way and to let go of control. And so I'm seeing that a lot of these reasons for me wanting to homeschool are not necessarily relevant to her, because she has me as a mom, and I'm not going to send her to any old school. And also, she's different from me. She's just very social. She requires a lot of stimulation. And she's very eager, and she's just simply bored. She's not challenged enough at home. And with a 1-year-old and a house to keep up with, and my own health and a marriage, like I don't have what it takes. I just don't. And I'm not feeling bad about myself and telling you this, and like, in a way that's like, I'm not good enough. No, like, I am not humanly capable of that much stimulation, that much output. I'm not capable of that. And that's okay. That's how God made me. And I shouldn't feel bad about it. I really tried. I had the best of intentions, and I was really adamant about it. But the more I think about it, the more it's like, okay, God's showing you that she is not the same as you. God's showing you that she needs more than you can give. When will you listen? When will you let things take their natural course, which is what I talk about all the time. So sometimes, I just need to get out of the effing way. And that's what I'm working on right now. And of course, I'm still going to be my kid's biggest advocate. I'm going to be super involved. And of course, we're sending her to an excellent school that really prioritizes remembrance of God, but not in a really specific type of way, like not a Catholic school or something. Because as you know, we're Muslim, and Christianity is great, but it's not how we're raising our kids. It's not what we believe in, the specifics of it. So we didn't want something too religious, but we didn't want something secular either. So we found a really good option. The remembrance of God, lots of outdoors time, and being a steward of the environment, really small class sizes. What are the other things? Respect and integrity. It's a very unconventional, like human focused school, instead of focusing on teaching kids how to add numbers and making sure, like, anything, do whatever it takes to get to the end, do whatever it takes to make them pass those tests, shove 30 kids into a classroom and hope for the best. Really like a free daycare. That's really, and I understand the need, some people need that, that's fine. I'm speaking from only my place. So they don't focus on metrics as much as they focus on developing the human, and so that's really important to me, and I think that she's gonna do great. And I hope this didn't stop recording. My mom's calling me. Okay, cool. I think that my intentions to homeschool really just speaks more about like my wanting to create a certain lifestyle and home environment for my family, which I will be able to do now that I'm gonna have a little bit more time and a little less stimulation. I'm gonna be less tired, and more freedom and flexibility to actually create that home environment. Because of course, as you know, moms don't just hang out with their kids all day, right? We have to cook nutrient-dense meals and snacks, and we have to keep our home organized and safe and beautiful and inspiring and functional. And we also have to, tend to our marriage with our partner. And that means like not adding inordinate amounts of unnecessary stress, which homeschooling was adding onto my marriage. So, I think it's really important to acknowledge the fact that I'm quitting homeschooling for now. I reserve the right to change that whenever the hell I feel like it. But for now, this is the best decision for my family. And although I did have some guilt and some feeling a little bad about myself in the beginning, I don't anymore. I don't. I feel like I am getting out of the way, like I said. I feel like I'm letting go of control to let something better happen. I'm trying to get out of the way so that my daughter can blossom. And I'm trying to listen to that, to my instincts, to my intuition, and taking that leap of faith, heeding that call to faith that I can't see the particular outcome for, but that I just have to trust and know that if it's not right, then I'll feel it again. I'll feel that misalignment in my body and in my psyche, and I will hear God telling me, okay, this is not it. But for now, this is it. So I want to encourage you out there, if you don't see this a lot. If you are an intentional parent, a conscious parent, but homeschooling isn't right for you, and you'd actually be a better parent without the 24/7 kids being around 24/7, let me know in the comments. Let me know if this is you. Let me know if this speaks to you, because I just want to encourage you, like, do what you feel is best. Don't do what you think like, well, if I was the best mom ever, I would do all of these different things. I would be the best cook in the kitchen. I would be, the most conscious parent. I would be doing all the co-ops. I'd be doing Waldorf education at home. I'd have the most natural home with all of the best organizational tools and stuff to inspire my children. I'm not talking about unrealistic standards here. There's a difference between dreams and fantasies. There is. You can dream and you can have that sort of like, there's something about what I'm envisioning that I want to make happen in my life, and different ways to do that. And then there's a fantasy, which is like, if I was perfect, this is how life would be. And none of us are perfect. None of us are ever going to be perfect. I mean, how many times can we say that, right? So I want to encourage you to listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Listen to your gut feeling, because there's something really strong there. That's God whispering to you. That is what I truly believe, that your intuition is this sense of knowing without being able to prove it, that God is trying to make known to you, that women have a very, very specific connection to that men don't. So heed that call. And let me know, what are you doing for school this year? Are you starting homeschooling? Did you feel called to that? Or are you quitting homeschooling before you started, like me, and going from there? Yeah, there shouldn't be so much guilt and shame and shit around this. Like, us moms do enough already. We don't have to have the burden of, I have to homeschool too. No. For a lot of us, for most of us, school is a great extension of the village. It's what makes up the bulk of the village for us. So, there's such a thing as being a very intentional, very dedicated parent, but not being a homeschooler. So let me know in the comments, what are you doing for school this year? If you quit homeschool, if you're doing homeschool, I'd love to know. See you later.